today is the day that I'm going to be replacing my camshaft and building my heads. We just stopped at Walmart. I had to pick up some couple things, some brake cleaner and some engine cleaner. Bar that I got with me, I am in the Ram, by the way. I got the toolkit. I got gaskets right there, some more separator tools over there. There's the brake cleaner and engine cleaner. Got some gloves, some wipes. I got all of this other stuff for the heads. So these are obviously the valve covers. Got valves, camshaft, everything in here. Some rockers down here. And yeah, we're all set. Some thread locker. Keep you guys updated on how it goes. All right, so we got the truck over here pretty much taken apart. It's sitting here like this. Got the AC condenser off the radiator, the fan shroud. We got the lines disconnected, all the coolants. But yeah, next is the belt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna take the belt off. All right, this is how we're looking now. We just got the bracket off for the water pump and the AC compressor. All right, yeah, we're gonna take off the harmonic balancer pulley and then the harmonic balancer. Also with the bracket for the compressor, make sure you don't forget the bolt that's on the that's underneath the pulley. All right, little update at where we're at. We just took off the hood, and then we also took off the throttle body and moved some of the cables back for the injectors. And now we just got to clean it up a little bit and take the heads off, and then we're gonna take the intake off. Oh, also we're gonna have to wait until later to take off the harmonic balancer because we don't have a socket for it. Yeah, we'll get that done. All right, it is officially 2 days since we took apart the truck. We skipped a few steps. There was a few people who came, so I couldn't really make a video or anything. This is what we got. So we got all the heads off. We got the timing chain and water pump, all of that off. We put a new sprocket on here. We cleaned the heads and gasket a little bit, made it a little bit smooth. It's not gonna be perfect. And then we also got the brand new cam in it. This is the old cam. I think it's about time. Definitely about time for it to get a new one. Here are the heads. This one's kind of taken apart. We started taking this one apart. Turns out I need some new resistors for this because the springs that I got are a little bit bigger. Not too big, but just a little bit bigger, and we need a new resistor to put on it. Here's that new timing chain though. That thing is gonna sit beautifully. All right, everybody, it's been a couple days since that last clip. This is what we got so far. We already got the timing chain on, and the heads were already off. We cleaned it a little bit more. We cleaned around the gaskets. We drained the oil pan, and now we're gonna try to put the heads back together. I had to get some new locks for my valves because the OEM ones that came with the engine did not fit on the valves with the new retainers that I had on them. So I had to go ahead and just find one that would fit. This one fits. And if I tried to run it with the OEM locks, it would just slip out, and I don't want that happening in my engine. So we're gonna go ahead and wait on those to get here. They should be getting here on Monday. Today is Friday. And then whenever they do get here on Monday, I'll come back and I'll finish building the head. So today, before I came over here, I went to AutoZone and I picked me up a new thermostat housing with a thermostat. Because yeah, as you can tell, that's crusty, and that thermostat is actually rusting it away in there, and it's not very good. So I went ahead and picked up this bad boy right here. Not rusty, crusty, dusty. Along with this beautiful housing and a fresh gasket. So while we're waiting on one of my homeboys to show up, we're gonna go ahead and put this thermostat on and get everything nice. Hey guys, this is Future Editing Mason. I genuinely forgot to record most of this process, but I ended up replacing my Blenheim gasket on my intake because that shit was just so crusty. And then we ended up just slapping everything together and called it a day. And that following day, we went over there and started her up. allowed it to start up. It ended up shutting off, and we couldn't get it for the rest of the day to turn back over. And we didn't want to have to keep taking it apart, so we just kept trying and diagnosing, see if we could find the problem. Not only did we find the camshaft was for an older 5.2 engine, but that we had the cam and crank timed off for a reason that nobody knows. So we ended up taking it back apart, looked at the valves, and seeing that they had started to hit the top of the pistons and bent the intakes enough so that we weren't able to use them. So I ordered me a new camshaft from Howard, and then I went to my nearest junkyard to look for some intake valves off of an old 5.2. And I went back that following night and we put everything together, but it was too late to try to start the truck up or anything, so I had to wait until that next morning. All right, it's probably been maybe a few weeks since that last clip. We figured out what the problem was, why it wasn't starting. We had put it together and trying to start it, and it started for a little bit, cut off, and we couldn't get to start back on, but we figured out what that problem was. All right, so this cam, which is kind of the correct cam for my engine, was actually incorrect. So why don't you go ahead and explain it, Paul?
Who's that Pokemon? It's...
He ended up buying the wrong cam from Comp, and it ended up being for an older model 5.2. So he fucked up.
Yeah, that was my bad. So the main problems with this was not only was the snout being too long, where like whenever it was sitting there with the timing gear and everything, the timing gear would walk on it and the cam would literally just float in there. And with older engines, they didn't have a thrust plate to hold the cam in there, so the cam was literally just floating in there. So now we got the right cam installed with the thrust plate, and we got everything torqued down. We are here about to put the rockers on, and yeah. All right, here it is to cap off the night. We got the valve covers put on, we got the Hallmark balancer put on, we got the intake put on. Everything is still set. Everything's moving perfectly fine as it should. Tomorrow, hopefully we can get those wiring harnesses and accessories on the front put on and get this bitch running.
Yes, sir.
I spent way more than I needed or anticipated to. At about $2,600 put towards the truck, about $1,500 of that stayed in. So if anybody needs a new camshaft for a 5.2 LS engine, I got you. Proud to admit, after a long 2 months and a whole bunch of money thrown into this truck, she's finally running. So here she is. I'd like to give a big thanks to the buddies that were helping me with this truck and giving me a place to actually work on it. I could have done it at home, realizing it after like actually doing this, but it was still fun to do it with this little raggedy shop. But enough yapping for me. Here's a beautiful court start. As you can see, she's just a little bit loud, just a little bit. Everything looks fine though. Oil is just a little bit high, and I don't know. I think my alternator's fucked up or something. But yeah, she's gotta warm up. Finally driving her home, boys. Just needs a little bit of a tuning issue. Whenever I come to like a stop, she wants to die, so I gotta keep on the gas. And it's hot as fuck. AC's not working. We need to fix that. Other than that, I'm ready. Take her home.